Hi and welcome to today's.
You're listening to Soulful High Performance with Dr. Rosie Mead. This is the place to be if you want to discover how to level up and achieve lasting success on your terms without the stress. I'm determined to share with you the tools, habits and mindset that you need to take your life to the next level so that you too can become a soulful high performer.
But I haven't been brave in the steps, so I'm going up to swap my trainers, my flip-flops, and I'm just going for a bit of a meander to get my steps in. I thought now would be a perfect time to record my daily ramble because the irony is I haven't been doing it daily and I've missed it. I've missed keeping in touch with you and sharing my learning, my experiences with you. So I'm back on it. And today I wanted to talk about how our brain isn't designed for multitasking. Now I can't remember if I've spoken about this before, but I think it's a topic that we can't talk about often enough because I think we're still in this culture where we tell ourselves that multitasking is what we aim for. You know, you want to be doing as much as you can and achieving as much as you can. And as high achievers, and I know this with my clients as well, it keeps coming up, is we kind of tell ourselves that, you know, we want it all and we wanted it yesterday. And I'm guilty of this. And actually, from a brain perspective, our brain just can't cope with this. So, like, multitasking is a myth. Let's kind of get that out in the air. Your brain can't multitask. It can't do more than one thing at the same time, or more than one thing that requires prefrontal cortex. So kind of thinking, cognition. You know, yes, you can. Like, I can walk and I can talk at the moment because your body does that on autopilot. But things that require focus and attention, it actually can't do it. So what it does, it doesn't multitask. It does a thing called task switching. So it's literally going from one thing to another. And it's kind of, if you're trying to do more than one task at the same time, instead of all of that kind of focus and attention coming from that one area of the brain, your brain is kind of trying to like split the tasks in two and using different areas of the brain at the same time, which what it ends up doing is that you do the tasks, but you're not as productive as you would be if you focused on the one task. Now, without even knowing about the neuroscience behind this, you know this from your own experience, that if we try to do more than one thing at a time, our brain just can't handle it. We're not as productive as we would be if we were completely focused on one thing. But again, we tell ourselves that, you know, it's like a superpower. Like, we can do this, we can multitask. As women, we're kind of led to believe that that's a female thing. You know, women can multitask. Well, I'm putting my hand up and saying I definitely can't multitask. And our brains aren't built to multitask. I did a live earlier on Instagram, which was hilarious. I deliberately did it live because I wanted to show an experiment in real time. And doing it live added the kind of extra nerves of knowing that people were watching. And what I did, I'd really like you to try this as well. Hopefully you can hear me. It's a little bit windy. Is that if you like time yourself, so set a timer on your watch or your phone and count backwards 25 to 0 and then go through the alphabet A to Z, which funnily enough, even doing that, thinking about kind of learning and memory, I can't say the alphabet without doing it in that kind of sing-song, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, it's just inbuilt. So count backwards from 25, then say the alphabet, time that, see how long that takes you. So that took me 20 seconds. And then do it again, but do the two things at the same time. So you count backwards from 25 and you do the alphabet. So you do this, I'm not going to do the whole thing, but you do like 25A, 24B. Oh, geez, even trying to get to the next bit, it was really hard. I did the whole thing, there were lots of hesitancy, there was lots of laughter from me, because my brain just felt like, it literally felt like I was going through sludge, and I just couldn't. And I got to a point probably around about U or W where my brain just like, it was really slowing down and stopping, and I had to kind of catch up with the like TUV and kind of do it in my head and then keep going. And that is a real life example that our brain's not built to multitask. So the best thing to do in terms of productivity, in terms of our brain optimization, is to unitask. Focus just on one thing. Now, to begin with, when we do this, speaking from experience here, when we do it, you'll probably tell yourself that you're not being as productive because, well, I'm only getting one thing done, whereas I could have been getting 10 things done. You know, I could be checking my emails, I could be writing an email while I listen to a course, or, I don't know, creating some social media posts while I'm also with my kids, or whatever it is that kind of requires focus and attention on both tasks. So to begin with, you'll probably tell yourself that, you know, we have these self-limiting beliefs and mindset gremlins like to appear, and you probably will tell yourself that you're not being as productive, but actually the results will show otherwise. And once you start to see the results appear, then your brain and your mindset starts to tell you, actually, this is the better way to work. So I'll give you an example of how I've been finding this in action. So yesterday, I did my normal planning in the morning. So I try to get up at 5. It doesn't work every day. I have kids and it's life. Some days I like to have a bit of a lie-in, and sleep is so important. But in an ideal world, I'd wake up at 5 and then I sit down with my high performance journal and I map out the day. So I write down the kind of 3 main priorities for the day, and I write down tasks that absolutely have to be done that day. Now for me, my tasks are normally around well-being, so it's like drinking 3 litres of water, walking 11,000 steps. It's all my like daily non-negotiables. And the 3 priorities for the day are work related. So yesterday, one of them was to launch my Amplify membership, or launch the festival. So just a casual drop in there. If you want to come and join the festival, it's on the 9th and 10th of September, and it's a free online festival to launch my Amplify membership. So it's all about amplifying your lifestyle and your performance in business or sports, with guest speakers, and it's amazing. If you want to find out more information, there'll be a link in the show notes. But anyway, that's it by the way. So one of my tasks yesterday was to put this all together. Now it was a meaty task. It was a good 4 hours. Now I've tried to start on this over the last week or so, and I've been really frustrated. I've planned to I've just put it into my diary, you know, today work on this, but I haven't then scheduled it into the time chunking, which I'll talk about in a minute. And then what has happened is I've made a start on the launch. I kind of started thinking about some speakers, then I've got sidetracked, and I've then gone onto social media. That's probably led me down a Google rabbit hole of searching for some other stuff. Then I've probably gone on my phone, checked WhatsApp, sent a few messages, messaged some of my clients. I've gone back onto Instagram. I've got distracted by the shiny moments. I've gone and had lunch, and then while I'm having lunch, I'm on a course, and I'm also half-heartedly thinking about my membership. And I get to the end of the day, and I hadn't done anything with the membership launch. I have a VA who is absolutely incredible. She's waiting for me to do certain things before she can then do her tasks. And she'd be kind of giving me a bit of a gentle nudge. And then at the end of last week, I was really beating myself up, thinking, you know, the launch is coming quite soon now. You haven't even got the landing page out there. My VA had made the landing page. All I needed to do was put the content in. Content is in my head. But I just managed to get distracted by all these shiny objects and I really needed to pull it back in. So yesterday I took all of this learning, all of the things that I will tell you about, but then actually did it myself, which I think as a coach, it can be so easy to support other people and then not take our own advice. Sorry, there's a bike coming. Hi. So where I'm walking while I'm recording the podcast is on an old trailway where I live, and we often get cyclists along here. It's lovely. So it's nice having you on my walk. So then yesterday I decided to just stop procrastinating, and I put down my 3 priorities. The other 2 weren't major things. I'm trying to remember now, I think it was like tidy my email and support my clients. And then the main one, the big task that I had to do, was finalise my launch, my festival launch, to launch my membership and get all of that out. So that's what I did. I blocked out the time. I worked in Pomodoro because I like doing that, where you work for 25 minutes and then take a little break, and then work for another 25 minutes and then take a longer break. That works for me, it works for my brain. And that's what I did. So I worked kind of solidly on it for 4 hours in this kind of Pomodoro style thing. Got to the end of the day, I'd created my landing page, I'd written my welcome email series, I'd made the Facebook group, and then kind of added in membership questions. I'd posted it on all socials, I'd put it on my stories, and I had people signing up yesterday. Now, people couldn't sign up last week because there was nothing to sign up to. There wasn't even a link. So that really shows the power of just uni tasking, just focusing on one task at a time. Now, yes, it meant that I didn't do other things yesterday, but it meant that I got the biggest thing out of the way. It's out there now, I can tweak it, but it's there, and I can then go on and move on to other projects without this one always hanging over me and always kind of half-heartedly managing it. So today's kind of episode, I want you to just take away the fact that your brain isn't designed to multitask, and that's not a bad thing on you. It doesn't mean that you're inadequate in any way. It just means that we've got to learn how to use our brain. You know, we were born with our brain and we weren't given an instruction manual, and we weren't taught at school how to optimize our brain, how to fully use our brain. But it's never too late to learn, and now is the perfect time to learn how to optimize your brain for enhanced performance, for an amplified lifestyle, for living that life that you want without stress, without overwhelm. And that's exactly the kind of the aim of it here. So have a think today, wherever you're listening to this, have a think about what's your main priority today, what's your main focus, and then 100% focus on that. Focus on unitasking, on this one thing, and then move into the next task rather than flitting from one to the other. I'll do another episode about transitioning and the importance of that. But for now, focus on that one thing, go be productive, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Thanks for listening to today's episode. If you loved it, share it with at least 3 friends. Grab a screenshot, share, and don't forget to tag me. You can find me on all social channels at Dr. Rosie Mead. I'd love to support you further in your soulful high performance journey. Come and grab my free Success Without Stress starter kit. You can find the link in the show notes.